We're now going to go live to William Engdahl. He's going to talk to us about these attempts by the ICC to arrest Gaddafi. Thanks very much indeed for joining us there live in Frankfurt. Well, as we were going to hear from Konstantin Kosachev, he was going to say that there is concern here in Russia that the ICC decision will actually force Gaddafi to cling to power even more and lead to more bloodshed. Would you agree with what he has to say?
Well, I don't know if that would be the case or not. I think the whole thing is upside down. The call by the ICC. I think the NATO High Command, including the United States commander of NATO, ought to be tried for crimes against humanity, given the fact that they've been bombing civilians in Libya for more than 100 days. I mean, this entire Libya intervention by NATO is absurd from beginning to end. It's just unbelievable what's going on. NATO can decide on the basis of responsibility to protect a completely vague sham doctrine of international law that's being promoted by certain very politicized NGOs in Washington and elsewhere. This responsibility to protect overrides national sovereignty. Yes. So I think the ICC is way off.
And to protect human beings. NATO is insisting that this is a mission to protect civilian life in Libya. Doesn't that not override all other arguments in this case?
Well, where's the proof of the bombing of civilians? There's not even proof. A man stood outside the White House in Washington, who was the head of the Libyan opposition organization back earlier this year, and claimed that there was bombing of civilians by Gaddafi's Air Force. That was never proven independently. Even Robert Gates, the Secretary of Defense, said that that was never proven. So, you know, we're going on CNN media rumors, BBC, and whatever, but this is, Obama was overruled his own legal advisors in the Pentagon and the CIA and went ahead with the NATO action against Libya. So this is really on shaky ground.
So those are your thoughts about the situation. But what about now, though? I mean, what would this warrant, this issue of an arrest, a warrant arrest for Gaddafi, have any effect at all on Libya? I mean, why are they doing it now, the ICC?
Well, I think they're just trying to marshal as much public opinion, which is not strong against this Libya intervention. In the United States, the population doesn't understand it. They say, what are we doing another war here? This is the Nobel Peace Prize president. You know, we're in Afghanistan. We're still very heavily involved in Iraq, and now we're going into Libya. This is madness here. So I think it's a propaganda attempt to prop up the sense of justice behind this, a very flimsy one at that. And, you know, it's politically motivated.
Do you think it's also a way of legitimizing the use of foreign troops on the ground in order to justify the fact that you could get troops on the ground and end all this and arrest him or indeed get rid of Gaddafi?
Sure, sure. But just like the GCC ruling back that gave the UN Security Council the green light to go ahead with the abstention of China and Russia.
Would it be, though, in the interest for the rebels to arrest him? After all, many of them would rather see him brought to justice in their own country rather than being sent abroad.
Well, I don't know. The rebels are being heavily armed and advised by the CIA and Pentagon Special Forces and armed. You know, you have to ask what's going on here. Is this a grab for the Libyan oil away from Gaddafi and the state oil company, which has used the oil to build up the infrastructure of the country over the last 40 years, and a grab by Sarkozy's friends in Paris to take the oil out of Libyan hands? Or what is going on here? This is really bizarre in every way, shape, and form.
Rather than bring a closer end to this, some commentators are saying that this move by the ICC could actually undermine all attempts for a peaceful solution, could close the possibility of negotiations. Why would that be the case?
Well, I don't see any attempt by the West and NATO member countries for any peaceful resolution of this. They had a chance before they started the NATO bombing to bring this into mediation or negotiation, and it was never on the table as far as Washington was concerned, or the British or the EU.
William Engdahl, we are out of time. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Also like to add that you've written a lot about this matter. In fact, your book, Full Spectrum Dominance, Totalitarian Democracy in the New World Order, is available right now. Thank you very much indeed. Germany-based author and researcher William Engdahl joining us live there in Frankfurt. Thank you.